everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video. And as you can see, I'm in a car, parked, not driving, in a car with my cell phone, a little different than my usual setup. The laptop I usually use for my reviews is unavailable at the moment. That, and due to this coronavirus stuff going on, which I hope everyone's being safe, with everything that's going on, it's just made kind of things tight. So I'm on my lunch break right now, and I figured I'd take some time to do this video. Last video you guys voted, or not the last video, but about a video or two ago, you guys voted for me to what my next video was going to be about. And you guys wanted me to talk about Dan DiDio leaving DC Comics. So it got me to thinking, and as I usually do with my videos, I figured I can actually break it up into a multi-part video. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this video to talk about Dan DiDio, my thoughts on him leaving DC Comics. The second video will be the state of DC Comics and what I think about its future, what it will do. And then the last video will be a little fun one, me showing you what I would think DC should do with their comic book line. And I have an Excel sheet and everything. You're gonna love it. It's fantastic. It's adorable. So anyways, with that said, you must excuse me. Don't worry, I don't have coronavirus, but I'm a little stuffy. I got cleared by a doctor. Yeah, as you can see, the stuffiness. Going to this video, I wanted to say, despite whatever my views on Dan is, it's never good when someone gets fired. I wish him all the best of luck. He seemed like a really good guy from what I could tell from interviews and from what I could tell from people talking about him. Not just that, he generally cared about the product and the comics, and I think he, on a whole, did a lot of good for a lot of people. So in saying that, let's talk about Dan leaving, because Dan was just basically kicked out of DC Comics by AT&T pretty aggressively. And I think this all stems from what he is as a publisher. For ill or for good, Dan is an incredibly good ideas man, but he is just that. He's not really good at implementing. He doesn't think things through or think of the grand scheme when it comes down to things. I could talk about New 52 all day. New 52 was a great idea, implemented badly, and did not have a long-term plan. Hence why the DCU stuff happened, which, again, long-term didn't work out, and eventually led to Rebirth, right? Which is what we're currently on. So the fact that he didn't think things through with a lot of his projects probably didn't do well with him in DC Comics. I think that's generally what was going on. Warner Brother and AT&T really were looking at his next initiative, which was the 5G initiative, which was DC basically replacing many of its mainstay characters, Bruce Wayne with Luke Fox, Diana with Cassie Sandmark, Clark with John Kent, Barry Allen with Captain Cold's son. Excuse me, that it just makes no sense. So in that, I think AT&T was like, the reports were is like, you could do that, but do it at Elseworlds. We have a lot of movies coming out for Wonder Woman, for the Batman, and all this projects we have down the line. We don't want you messing with the product. And I think Dan kind of stuck his foot in the ground and said, nope, that's what I'm doing. And then they said, well, you are the weakest link, goodbye. And they kicked him out. And this was very sudden. I think Dan was on thin ice to begin with. But this was very sudden because even Jim Lee, the other co-publisher, who's now the main publisher at DC Comics, was shocked to see what happened. So I think on a whole, this was very fast, but I think it was also premeditated. I think AT&T was about to have its fill of what was going on with Dan. Do I think this is a bad thing? I hate to say it. I don't. I like Dan as an individual, but I don't think he was the best publisher. Again, great ideas, man, terrible follow through, and that's kind of what we've been doing. It feels like the past 10 years of comics has been us trying to explain the past 10 years of comics and justifying it. That, and he's always had a hard-on for killing people I like Dick Grayson. Boy, does he want to fuck Dick Grayson. And towards the end, he was having a lot of bad relationships with other creators. I know him and Scott Snyder got into a pretty verbal argument about 5G being led into by the death metal stuff. So I think it might be good time for a change and a breath of fresh air for a new publisher. Um, which is sad because, again, I have no ill will towards Dan. I have no ill will towards what he's done. I think there's been a lot of stuff that he has done that's been really good. I took up New 52. Yeah, New 52 wasn't thought out very well, and I think Superman and Teen Titans, a lot of the continuity was bastardized, but you got some of the best Batman stuff, some of the best Wonder Woman stuff, some of the best Green Lantern stuff, some of the best Aquaman stuff, some of the best Flash stuff. Without a doubt, one of the best Justice League runs since Grant Morrison. They're great stuff. Now, that could be the creators, but a lot of that was also the freedom and direction that New 52 brought. So really the question is, what could have been done differently? And that's a whole different video for a different time. I don't think you guys have 22 hours of me talking about what could have been done with the New 52. But that goes back to what I'm saying, is basically this. Dan just didn't think things through, and I think that's what been hurting DC Comics. Because if DC Comics had followed through with its lines and what it wanted to do, I think it would be doing a lot better out there. And eventually that's going to tie into my thoughts on the state of DC Comics and where it's going to go from here. A lot of rumors popping up about DC Comics in its future, and I definitely want to address those rumors. But I think Dan leaving is probably for the best. Who is to be a successor? I don't know, right? There's a lot of people I would want. I think my main person I would want that would never do. I mean, I think Jeff Johns would be a good role for it, because Jeff is a really good ideas man, but he also has follow through, and it would be a comfortable role for him. There's a lot of people that I would like, but I know probably shouldn't. Like I would think it's hilarious if Grant Morrison got it, but he probably shouldn't, because I don't think that's something that Grant is proficient with. I think he's a storyteller. He's not a publisher. But hey, that's either here nor there. I again, sad to see it happen, but I think it was for the best. I think DC Comics will flourish because of it. So, what's your opinions on this topic? Are you guys okay with it, or are you guys upset about it? And do you think DC is better off with a new direction? When I come back, part 2 of this State of DC Comics trilogy of stuff, I'm going to talk about exactly that, the state of DC Comics and its future and what it means for the comic product and for the overall product. So with that said, this is Andrew saying peace out for now.